Hi, Phil Lees here of Peace, Ontario. As many of you know, the government has the open consultation process on education, and it's coming to a close December the 15th. So we have a very short window of time to get this finished. um, Many people have had some input in the consultation, but many are still telling me, Phil, I'm just not sure what to do, etc. The other night I went to bed and I woke up in the morning. I thought, Phil, just go through the process and do a video on it and guide through and hey, fill it in again. And yeah, that's right. You don't have to fill it in once. You can fill it in a number of times. If you come across ideas that you didn't think of, you can go back to the open submission and submit again. Okay, really important. This is a great opportunity to have positive influence in changing education. Now, for us here at Peace Ontario, we're primarily concerned about the sex education and the Parent Bill of Rights for parents in Ontario. All right, but let's get started and let's go through this process. Okay, so and through this video, if it should take 15 minutes or so to complete, but if you need to stop, get a coffee, change the baby, whatever, no problem. You can, insert 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there throughout the day and get this thing done. As long as it's done by December 15th, okay? All right, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to shrink this down and let's open up the first one. I'd like you to first go to this website, which is www.peaceontario.ca/page/ for the parents. Okay. All right. Now, and you can go there and you should see a website that looks something like this. Okay. All right. There we go. The consultation process. Let's open it up. Fantastic. Oh, let's see if I can get rid of this. Maybe not. Okay. So we invite everyone. Okay. And now the open consultation is going to be about science, technology, engineering, math, questions about skilled trades, standardized testing, financial literacy, managing cell phones in the school, health, physical education, sex education, and the Parent Bill of Rights, okay? There are two ways you can submit information now. Number one, open submission, which is through this submission form, online submission form. And number two is you could send an email directly to them, right? And include your name and provincial consultations, the subject line, and you can send files to them that you think are important, all right? And Peace has created a 32-page document that we've submitted, okay? And I will later on show you how you can access that document. And if you want, you could just open that document, read it. If you agree with it, you can send it to them and say, hey, I've read this through and I really like this. You might want to have a look at it, okay? But let's start with the open submission form. Okay, there it is. And first, they want you to tell them about yourself, all right? So I'm a parent or a guardian, an adult with no children, et cetera, all right? I'm going to say a parent. Are you a parent with school-age children? If you say no, you just go right on. If you say yes, then they're going to ask you questions about ages, etc. Okay, so what grades? Okay, well, I have kindergarten, one in grade 2, one in grade 6, and those are my grandkids. Okay, now down here, what school type are your children currently enrolled in? English public, private, okay? And you, whatever applies, select. Please, if I'm going too quickly, pause me, answer your questions, and then come back, okay? Does your child have any special needs, okay? And yes or no, or I prefer not to say, all right? And you might prefer not to say. Are you a student currently attending an elementary K-8 school? Yes, no, I prefer not to say no. And what are the first 3 characters of your postal code? Okay, there we go. Okay, if you are a member of a stakeholder group, so you could be a school board trustee, educator, the teachers union, or maybe you're part of an interest group like Peace. Okay, you can put that in, or you can just leave it blank. You don't have to put anything in. And then you've got questions about how would we improve math, engineering, technology? How would we improve needed job skills such as skills trades and coding? What measures can be taken to improve provincial standardized testing? What more can be done to ensure students graduate with high important life skills, including financial literacy? And what steps could schools take to ban cell phones? If you have any ideas on that, maybe you want to stop this, do some research, come back, put in your ideas, you can. The one that we're concerned about, this one, how can we build a new age-appropriate health and physical education curriculum that includes subjects like mental health, etc. Okay. Well, as I said, Peace has created a 32-page proposal and a 350-word executive summary. All right. So let's just go to those resources. So I'm going to stop sharing on this page right now, and we're going to go to our website. So you could go to www.peaceontario.com, okay? And let's go to that website right now. And I already have it opened up, and that's it here, okay? So there it is. And on the site, if you want to open up our full proposal, you can get it here, the Provincial Sex Ed Proposal, okay? And you can read it, see if you agree with it. If you you can, as I said, you could submit the whole proposal in that email submission, and the email was for the parents at ontario.ca. Okay, so if you want to do that, you can do that. Okay, and on the site it says the Ontario government wants your input. Download our parent consultation quick guide. So you go to click there. And on this site, there is a 6-minute video that summarizes our position. Basically, it's this. We say we agree with all of the concerns that have been expressed, so we're not going to repeat it, okay? But the reality is we live in a pluralistic province where there are some people that would agree with us, and there's some people that say, no, we kind of like the sex ed curriculum was already there. And if we're going to have an education system that respects all parents, which is what the Premier has asked for, then we're going to have choice in education. So the parents that want a sexual risk avoidance approach, which is the approach that many people, traditional value principles people would choose, they can choose that. If you want a sexual risk reduction approach or comprehensive sex ed approach, you could choose that, right? And so we've got that proposal. That's basically summarizes our 32-page proposal, and we have summarized it in an executive summary, which can be found down here. If you want to listen to the whole 6-minute video, it'll give you much more detail and background, than it may even make more sense. But if you just want to go directly to the summary, the first few instructions here are how to engage in the telephone town halls. Now, telephone town halls are all over. You can't participate anymore. But here is the key point. Choice in sex education is how we respect all families. And you could just go in there and cut and paste, copy it and paste it. All right. And you could then go back. Let's go back to our survey. Let me see if I can get back to our survey here, which is the open submission. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get back to it. Nope. I don't think I'm back to it. Hang on a second. Let's stop share. Okay. And I want to share. And let's just get to, and it's not going back. Let me pause it and I will get back to this. Okay, I think we're ready to go again. All right. So we go to the open submission. There we go. And we copied and pasted our response. Please read through it. Make sure you agree with it. Add to, take away, whatever is necessary, okay? Now, the next part is what should be included in a Ministry of Education Parent Bill of Rights, okay? This is extremely important because this Bill of Rights would supersede even current legislation. Current legislation says to schools, if a child comes to you and says, I'm pregnant and want an abortion, you are not allowed to inform families. If a child comes and says, you know what, I'm transgendered, I want to go for therapy, you cannot inform families, okay? So this is going to wrestle with that. What should we be able to tell families, okay? And so let's look at the Parents' Bill of Rights. Now, we've got a whole list. The top 8, I believe, are the most important, okay? So the Parent Bill of Rights. Let me go to the share screen here. The first suggestion we have on the Parent Bill of Rights is Article 26 of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. In this article, it says parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children. Doesn't mean that the parents are the primary instructor, but it says that the parents have the authority over where their children are educated. So that means private school, public school, whatever the choices are. We can even have choice inside public education, okay? And we know this because in Edmonton, all right, let me give you this example. In Edmonton, the Edmonton Public School Board offers 32 alternative programs. One of them is the Logos Christian Alternative Program. So if you have your child in the Logos Christian Alternative Program, then your program does not teach religion, but it delivers government expectations with understanding of your background. So the novels that are chosen, the way in which curriculum is delivered, maybe massaged so that expectations are achieved, but without offending and without conflicting with the values of the families, all right? And it's really fantastic because these 32 alternative programs, more than 50% of the school-age population attend alternative programs, not their local public school. The parents value the choice, the kids value the learning environment because it better relates to their life experiences, and guess what happens? Academic achievement is much higher. All right, so that's number 1 priority, choice in education. Number 2, expect and request an educational environment that respects the families and the children's religious freedoms. Expect and request an educational environment that is emotionally and physically safe for the children. Number 4, receive written notice and the option to opt their child out of surveys that include invasive questions. All right, number 5, receive written notice and have the option to opt their child out of any controversial instruction, including sex ed, but not limited to sex ed. All right, now this is really important, but opting out is not the best option, but it needs to be in there. The best option is to have choice so we don't have to opt out at all, right? But opting out is a pressure tactic. And it's intentionally in there to say, well, no, we're demonstrating respect for families, but we know that families are intimidated. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to put their kids in a spot where the kids are going to be centered out, that kind of stuff. So it's a pressure tactic. So although it needs to be in there, it's not the best option. The best option is choice. Okay, to be notified when medical and psychological services are being offered to their child, to request a change in class or teacher assignment for their child. I was at a meeting last night, and a parent shared about their grade 9 daughter in health and phys ed class. The teacher in the class is lesbian, married, openly brings in their life into the classroom. And that's not much different than a heterosexual parent who happens to share in conversation in the classroom what he or she did with the family on the weekend and stuff like that. Okay, so out of respect for both the teacher and the child, wouldn't it be best if the child is very uncomfortable in that environment to be allowed to be removed and put into a classroom where the child is more comfortable. Choice in education. Okay, very important. Number 7, to know which extracurricular clubs and activities their children are participating in. Right now, according to current legislation, and due to privacy, some schools would say parents cannot be informed if their children are in gay straight alliance clubs or other kind of sexual orientation kinds of clubs. Okay. Now there are another 9, 10 different possible options to this, but I think the first 8 are what I call the big 8. And so what I like to do is I will copy and paste the big 8. Please, if there's anything here you don't agree with, do not include it. Or if you think there's something that needs to be modified, please modify it. All right. And copy. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to paste it into our open submission. Just let me stop sharing for a minute. All right, so let me share. I think we're going to go back to the survey now. There we go. So we go back down to the questions about, I better enlarge this so that we can do that. There we go. Okay, so, and inside this, what elements should be included in a Ministry of Education Bill of Rights? Just copy and paste, but please, again, make whatever changes are necessary, okay? Then, do you have any other feedback or ideas? Fill that in, and you can say, I'm not a robot, and submit, okay? So that's it. We finished the open submission. Again, you could submit, you could send an email submission to for the parents at ontario.ca. And if you want, you could go to the Peace Ontario website, download the parent document. If you want to attach it, if you agree with it, then send that on as well. Okay. All right. So thank you so very much for being part of this. Can I please encourage you to please share this with others so that we get as many people responding to this as possible, so that we can have the education system for our kids and the next generation that they need. Take care. God bless.